2020 has brought about so many different challenges within our lives, and I know that the prayer for all of us is that 2021 would be a little bit different. But you know what's interesting? I believe that God allows certain challenges and difficulties to step into our lives because He's trying to do something greater with us. Most of us will look at the challenge that is right before us, and we'll look at that very challenge and become fixated with that challenge, yet we do not see the bigger picture. Only God does. So every challenge that God has allowed in 2020 and will possibly allow in 2021 is because He has a purpose for it all. I live by that, I believe it, and I understand it's a reality because of what the Word says. Check out Paul's words in Phillipians 4:12 and 4:13. And it says this: I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. Verse 13, I could do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Man, I love Paul. Paul's always so transparent about his challenges, and he never sugarcoats anything. And here he's writing to the church in Philippi, and he says that he has developed the ability to be content because of the challenges that he has gone through. He has lived with plenty, and he has lived with want. He has been hungry and he has had a stomach full. But in the process, he understands that Christ has given him the strength to be content, and he has learned to be content because of the challenges that he has gone through. See, in life, difficulties will never end. And the truth is that we have two choices every time that we face adversity. One, we either go through it, or two, we grow through it. Right? The reality is this: each and every one of us has to go through it. There's no running away from the challenges that life brings. We have to face them on, and so we could either go through these challenges or we could allow God to work within our lives and not just go through it, but grow through it, like Paul. See, what's tragic about difficult times is not the fact that we're going through them. See, what's tragic about a difficult time is if we get to the end of that difficult time, or we leave that difficult time and we look exactly the same as we did when we entered that season, or even look worse. See, God allows these challenges to come into our lives in order for us to grow and to mature through it. So the difficulty isn't necessarily going through the challenge. The difficulty is that if I never grow, my faith never increases, and I never mature through the process. See, what I love about Paul is that he says that he has learned to become content. This word means at peace or satisfied through the process of undergoing difficulties. If Paul had never gone through a hungry stomach, he wouldn't know what it's like to be content or at peace with a hungry stomach. If Paul had never struggled because of a lack of resources, he would never know what it's like to be content when a lack of resources hits. And so, hey, I want to let you know, whatever it is that God allows to come into this season of 2021, He is doing it with a purpose, and He's doing it because He is trying to create something greater in us than we could ever imagine. So like Paul, we don't just have to go through it, we can grow through it. And what's beautiful about this process is that you never know that Jesus is all you need until you find yourself in a difficult situation and Jesus is all you have. So be intentional about viewing the trials that God permits to enter into our lives as an opportunity for growth and maturity, because He has a purpose for it all. I know it hurts. I know it's difficult. I know it's overwhelming. But if you continue to trust in God, know that He sees the bigger picture, and He has allowed it for a reason, because He wants more from you and He wants more from me.